So a while back, I saw this post. I'll flash it up on screen right now. And it got me thinking, why stop at one killer? Why not take it a step further? So today, I want to go over which Dead by Daylight killers I think I could take in a fight. The rules are simple. We keep going until death or the other one no longer poses a threat. Let's get into it. Starting with the Trapper. The mascot of this game we all love to hate, yet continually keep coming back to. There's only one guy with a machete I'll let take my life, and you're not him. I'm going to turn the tables on this little game of cat and mouse and stalk him patiently, waiting for him to place a trap, and taking advantage of the moment by tying his shoelaces together and pushing him face first back into his own trap. The Wraith. I swear, the way the community paints the Wraith out to be, he'd definitely be the type of guy to post sad boy Bart images over an X song. Oh, well, he doesn't want to kill, he's got the white eyes, he's being forced into killing. That's why he rings the bell, to warn the survivors. All I'm hearing is that, ironically, he's a killer that lacks killer instinct, and I will personally take it upon myself to fix that crooked neck he's got by cracking his bell over his skull. The Hillbilly. He may have the speed advantage, and the ability to slice me like butter, but he also has predictable attack patterns, and I play Dark Souls. He's gonna get parried with a trash can lid. Or so I would hope, but I'll probably get left looking like the Spirit. The Nurse. Ultimately, slightly more depressed Sadie Adler's strongest asset is gonna be her greatest undoing. Her teleport comes with a loud yell. I'll just have to treat this like a Mortal Kombat fight. Dodge the high and finish her off with an uppercut. Then, for extra credit, save the sack she keeps on her head as a goodie bag for next Halloween. The Huntress. As you could probably tell from the sound of my voice, I am not a little Russian girl, so my chances of survival are non-existent. She's gonna hear me step on a twig half a mile away and I'm gonna get a hatchet to the face. Michael Myers. Good old Mikey is shredding me into bite-sized pieces with his bare hands. But you better believe I'm shit-talking him throughout the whole process. Most prolific slasher of all time. Yeah, right, you couldn't even take out Busta Rhymes. Don't even make me bring up the Curse of Thorn trilogy. What happened with Jamie, Mikey? You were supposed to kill your family, not keep the bloodline going with your son/great-nephew. And to top things off, you let yourself be Hansel and Gretel by Jamie Lee Curtis. Speaking of which, the Hag. Small, scrawny, likes to claw at you. Reminds me of that time when I fought a chicken when I was 5. I'll just use the same tactic I used back then. Grab her by her feet and swing her from wall to wall till she stops moving. And even then, give it a few more swings for good measure. The Doctor, aka every bipolar alt girl's worst nightmare, aka Herman. There's nothing you can do that will affect me. I'm saying this as I've been awake for 39 going on 40 hours with 5 white gummy bear brains in my system for the 7th time this month. I've been seeing and hearing things that aren't there for years. Anything Herman can do, I've already brought onto myself. He'll be running in fear once he realizes he's come face to face with his own personal kryptonite. Leatherface. If I remember correctly, Bubba is canonically a little slow. If not, he's an uneducated inbred. So either way, I think I can gaslight him into getting him to off himself. Maybe through a simple coin flip. Heads I live, tails you die kind of thing, you know? Freddy Krueger. If this were Robert Englund Freddy, I'd be viciously tortured before getting hit with a shitty one-liner. But this is remake Freddy. And rest assured, this version of Freddy will be my bitch. The entity is gonna look in horror as I'm gonna knock that goofy little fedora off his head when he bites the curb of Batum. Then for shits and giggles, I'm gonna make him conjure up a Sailor Moon cosplay for him to wear. Just to humiliate him even further, as I celebrate using his fingerknives as a token of victory to cut up a steak. The Pig. Oh, Mandy. Her only accomplishment is taking out a one-legged cop. And even then, it was a close fight, so sadly, it looks like Jigsaw's gonna be down another apprentice. Thankfully, he's got 57 more and counting. And she better not try swaying me to be lucky number 58, because the second I hear a whiff of talk no Jigsaw from her, I'm placing her in another reverse bear trap and tossing her ass back in that needle pit. The Clown. He's a big-ass man with a finger fetish and a beer belly that could repel a nuke. Meanwhile, I have soft hands. I'm getting touched, boys. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The only way to describe what he'll do to me is with a teddy bear in a crowded courtroom. The Spirit. She's getting it the worst out of anybody on this list. I'm gonna play keep away with her severed leg while standing on the other side of a pallet. She's gonna try hobbling around to the other side of the loop, meanwhile I'll be there going, oh, got your leg. Got your leg. What are you gonna do about it? Oh, and so on and so forth until I get bored. And I'll just throw her leg in a wood chipper and that way she'll never catch up to me. The Legion. I can confidently say that if you leave me in a room with all 4, I'll still walk away unscathed. I'm not letting myself be taken out by a few Canadian dream stands. There's nothing less intimidating than that. What are they gonna do? Try circling me while going, that's what the mask is? Meanwhile, I'm 6'3", bordering on 6'4", and big as fuck. I'm walking out that bitch like Carrie on prom night. The Plague. I've survived many things in my lifetime. That time my mom concussed me with a yoga ball. The time my brother choked me out and refused to let go because he thought I was faking. Yet none of that compares to the suffering I endure whenever I catch a common cold. I can't imagine what the Plague's special sickness feels like. I might as well end things myself before it gets too bad. Ghostface. Get this imposter out of here. He isn't even with Ghostface from Scream. He was just a mascot for a brand, Mr. Clean Headass. Not to mention that shonen protagonist motivation he's got. Well, I want to be the greatest serial killer of all time. Okay, Deku. Let's see him keep that same energy when he's being choked out with the straps on his outfit. The Demogorgon. Without any access to fire, heavy artillery, or a telekinetic British girl, I'm kinda screwed here. My only chance of survival is trying to make him miss a pounce into a flying steel pipe, or an umbrella of sorts. The Oni. He may be a violent killer with a body count rivaled only by Genghis Khan, but he's an honorable man. He will give me a fighting chance, only to deflect anything I have to throw at him. I might as well seppuku myself, it'll be less painful that way. The Death Slinger. He's got a bad knee and a long reload time. If he misses, I'll have just enough time to run up on him and lock him in the walls of Jericho. I can speak from experience when I say he'll be begging for death. Pyramid Head. The Blight. If there's anything I learned in my short time on this earth, is that there's nothing more unpredictable than a tweaker, especially one who will willingly inject himself with his own lethal combination. Luckily for me, all it takes is one well-timed trip and he'll splatter himself all over a wall. The Twins. On paper, the brawling farm girl built like a Terminator seems like a huge threat, but you simply have to dodge the gremlin then sucker punch the gaping hole in her abdomen. The Trickster. Oh look, it's the forgotten BTS member who got drafted before the band blew up. What is throwing that going to do to me? I'll tell you this, I've been stabbed before. By pencils, but I'm guessing it's a similar sensation. I think I can brush off the pain long enough to introduce him to a different kind of dynamite. His face is going to be burning up from left and right, so they're going to sound louder than bombs. Nemesis. He will give me the Brad treatment, rearranging my brain by sticking his tentacles in my mouth, eyes, nostrils, ears, quite literally skull-fucking me till I'm brain dead. Pinhead. His whole thing is BDSM, I'm kinky, we'll come to some kind of arrangement. Or so I'll be thinking before getting taken to the labyrinth to have experimental sex acts performed on me. 1,000 bottles of baby oil isn't enough to prepare me for what Pinhead and the rest of the Cenobites have in store for me. The Artist. 1 bottle of Dasani and a mop is all I need to take out Doodle Bob over here. Sadako. Scary Movie 3. No elaboration needed. The Dredge is just one big amalgamation of hate and negative emotion. So am I, so I'm thinking if I hop in there willingly, there's a slim possibility that we could merge and become one superpowered hater, or I'll be faced with an eternity of endless pain and suffering. Realistically, it's a 50-50 shot that I'm willing to take. Wesker. He'll be lucky to get 7 minutes out of me. Best I could do is a good 20 seconds. The man dodges rockets for fun. The closest feat I have is that time I caught a pencil centimeters before it stabbed a girl on the back of the head. And even that was an accident. The Knight. I've done my fair share of instigating in the past. In fact, the courts made me stop because I was too good. They wanted to charge me with conspiracy to overthrow the government, but I managed to talk them down. So I'm confident that I could get the guards to turn on the Knight while I hid in a locker. You ever notice how it's the Knight and not the Knights? Or even the Knight and guards? Crazy how you three don't even get an honorable mention. If you're happy with that kind of one-sided relationship, good for you. I'm just saying, personally, I wouldn't let that blatant disrespect fly like that. But that's just me, though. All I'm saying is that without you three, he's just a guy in a silly costume. You guys are the ones doing all the heavy lifting. You're the real heroes here. Skull Merchant. She is canonically just a weeb with money. I see no difference between her and those anime fans that people don't want to acknowledge. And that will be my downfall. Probably wouldn't even kill me herself, she's a millionaire. She'll just tie me up to a rocket, Danganronpa style. The Singularity. Even an advanced AI that gets smarter by the second is no match for my stupidity. Even I'm surprised by the things I do half the time, but they work out. In the last second panic, I'll probably just ask what came first, the chicken or the egg. And while he's processing that never-ending thought cycle for all eternity, I'll just dump him in the middle of the ocean. The Xenomorph. Do you ever wonder what an out-of-shape alien would look like? We wouldn't have to after this matchup. I'm getting snatched up and impregnated faster than you can say Sigourney Weaver wanted to bang the alien. Chucky. You know what? Throw Tiffany in there too. I don't care if they're homicidal dolls, I'll stack them up and slam them into oblivion like Prime Super Cena. What are they gonna do, run back? I'll shove them in a shoebox and leave them in the back of my closet. Out of sight, out of mind. The Unknown. I'm gonna tie up his flimsy ass limbs so that he's left helpless as I stick an air compressor up his cannon and wait for him to pop. The Lich. The only counter for him is luck-based, and I love gambling. I wake up shaking with excitement because every day is an opportunity to hit the big one. But sometimes the things you love don't love you back. And sometimes you get eaten by a mimic while trying to gear up. Dracula. Really, he's a big old softie who doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. He's lashing out because the love of his life was taken from him prematurely. And the key to mending a broken heart isn't lashing out, it isn't therapy, or even time. What Dracula really needs is to be put onto some Midwest emo music. There's something about a bunch of white guys who can't sing that's almost therapeutic. And while he's laying in the fetal position, crying in the middle of the killer shack, listening to I Fell in Love with Princess Peach by Hot Mulligan, is when I seize the opportunity to suffocate him with a piece of garlic bread. And lastly, the Houndmaster. This one's just unfair from the get-go. Before I can even get close to her, I have to deal with the purebred killing machine named Snuggles ready to tear my balls off. There's no winning here. I'll just lie down and let myself be stomped out. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know this is different from the usual kind of videos I upload to the channel, but I wanted to try to branch out a little. If you want to see a Survivor version of this video, let me know. Till then, that's all I got for this one. I'm gonna go reluctantly load up a killer's match. My boy bought me the battle pass, and I'm gonna make sure I get the most out of our money. So subscribe, or don't. Either way, I'm gonna head out. Later.